call is now being recorded.
All right, Brent Porcia of TopVelocity.net, and I've got Jeremy. How do you say your last name, Jeremy?
Way.
Jeremy Way. I don't know if it was Wee or Way. I got him online, and I asked him to give me a call today. He reached out to me in an email, some questions, but told me some of the success he was having with the Rick's Pitching Velocity program, and I kind of wanted to see if he could share that with everybody out there and kind of go over what his experience has been. So why don't you start, Jeremy, with how you found or why you found the program, what were you looking for, and just kind of how that all happened.
Well, I had actually first heard about the program back during the summer, this past summer, when I was playing summer ball up in New York. And my friend had recently done the program too, and he recommended it to me.
Oh, cool. So it's through a friend. Awesome. What did he tell you about it? What was the benefits of it he was telling you?
Well, he saw that I was kind of like struggling with my velocity and pretty much all aspects of my pitching at that time, and he thought that could really help me, and said I had a lot of potential, and the program would really help bring that out.
Cool. So I guess you went and got it right away and then started it, or how did it kind of work? How long did it take you to get going with it?
Well, after I heard about it, I went on the site and I just kind of went off that information there and started using that stuff. And then I eventually bought the program in about September, I would say.
So did you get any benefits just from kind of the stuff you found online before you bought it?
Yeah, definitely. Like with triple extension, I just started implementing that right away and started doing some Olympic lifting. And I saw benefits from that. Yeah.
Cool. So what do you think getting the program, was it much better? I mean, did that help take you to the next level?
Yeah, like when I bought the program, it was helpful to actually have a routine to follow and also to have all the videos that describe how to do all the med ball throws and how to implement all the different mechanics.
Awesome. So kind of take us through that training. So when you started with the program, or before you started with the program, where was your ball speed at the time?
Before I ever heard of the program, during that summer, I was about low 80s, probably topping out at 84, I believe.
Okay. And then how long did you go through the program until you really started to notice that your ball speed was increasing?
When I came back this fall for my college and we started pitching there, that's when I noticed my velocity coming up. All of my teammates were telling me I was throwing harder, and yeah, that's where the results started coming.
So you went through how many weeks were you able to get through in the program?
I probably went through about a month or two, and then I started seeing the results, and then they just kept going up from there.
Cool. So how you were telling me, well, I'll let you tell them. So what was your top speed? So what's the highest that you found that you've been at since finishing the program? What's the hardest you've thrown?
I topped out at 90 and at 86 to 89.
Awesome, man. So you'd say about a good maybe 5 miles an hour, maybe 6 miles an hour you gained?
Hello?
Yeah, I lost you there. So what did you say? So could you say it was about a good 6 miles an hour you gained?
Yeah, about 6.
Awesome. So, well, good. Well, that's a nice little bump. And, typically I like to interview guys that have had that experience of getting to 90. I know the next level is breaking through it and becoming consistent at that level. And, that's where I've developed other levels in the program, level 2, even the level 3. And so, I mean, what do you think as far as going this far so far? What do you think is really helping you? What's been significant in the program to helping you?
I'd say the main thing would be the med ball drills, because before I didn't really know like what I was doing with my delivery, and after doing all the med ball drills and watching all the mechanic videos, I was kind of able to like have a more clear idea of what I should be doing with my body, and then also like making the muscle memory with the drills.
Okay, so you muffled up a little bit there. So were you picking up with the med drills more of kind of the feelings and how to develop more hip to shoulder separation from your back leg drives? Was that some of the mechanics that you were discovering?
Yeah, definitely, like getting down into that force back there and then triple extending. Like after
Cool.
every time of doing the drills, I would kind of like learn something new, and then I would go off that.
Awesome. How have the lifts helped you? How have the Olympic training? Have you had success with that?
Yeah, definitely. Before I started doing any kind of the Olympic lifting, I was probably one of the lesser athletic kids on the pitching staff, and then after doing that for a couple months or so, I actually went from being like the slowest pitcher to the fastest one on the staff, like sprinting one.
Speed
So
line?
it just made me a
Oh,
better
that's
athlete
great. That's
overall.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I had that same experience. I was always the slowest guy on the team, and then when I got really good at the Olympic lifting, I was even faster than the outfielders. So yeah, that's what it's. It's a power focused approach. It's a athletic, total body explosive power approach. So it really has the benefits of increasing power across the board. I typically don't highlight this in the programs, but I've had guys come to the program not only go into the 90s with ball speed, but broken home run records in their high schools because their bat speeds have picked up so much. So it's definitely very powerful in that aspect. So, I mean, I can see, 2 months into the program, are you excited to keep pushing through and see where you can go with this?
Yeah, definitely. I had actually just bought the level 3 program about a month ago,
Sweet.
and yeah, and started looking into that for this coming summer.
Yeah, I think the key things to learn under the level 3, of course, you have a really insane strength conditioning approach that's going to, really maximize your athleticism. Now, ideally, I want to see guys go into that with a 1.3 power to weight ratio. So when you can get your clean, above your body weight into your close to 130%, as close as you can, I would recommend then going into that, because that level 1, even that level 2, can really help you get to that level first, and then level 3 can kind of take you on. But the torsion throws and the sled drills in level 3, you can start that now. Those are really key for getting even more advanced in your back leg drives and really learning how to time the movements better, specifically coming out of your typical delivery, because, in the level 1, we all have the linear foot positions, and those go back into the lateral foot positions, and it trains how to time that release of internal rotation through your leg drives, and that's what I call 3x torsion. So that's something you could start working on now, because you'll actually pick up even more ball speed. So I think you have a lot of potential to really, at this point, push into the low 90s consistently, and then the sky's the limit. You could be a mid-90s guy, or at least being able to touch in the mid-90s. I think if you work really hard. Have you considered coming down to a camp at all?
Yeah, I would like to there in the summer. It'd just be a matter of just coming up with the funds to do so.
Yeah, well, if what I do is I take what you spend on the program, because that comes with the camp, and I'll basically credit that back to you, and then you can add that towards your camp registration.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, we'd love to have you down. And I tell the guys, all the college guys, because we get a lot of them in the summer, to either at least stay for the week of free 3X training where you actually train with us through the program after the camp. But if you can do a month of training here, I think you'd get a big benefit out of it. So you go through the camp and do a month of 3X training with us. I think you'd get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I'd love to come down.
Well, cool. Well, what were some of the other questions that you want to go over with? Or actually, how about this? We'll just end the interview, and then you and I will talk more about where you are and get you to the next level. So hold on one second, man. Hey, I appreciate this. You know, is there anything you want to say to those guys? You know, there's a lot of guys out there that are looking into the program, and just kind of guys in the similar position you were in, you know, in the similar position I was in my career, you know, kind of not knowing what to do, what's the best road, is it possible that they can gain more ball speed and have a better opportunity in this game? I mean, just talking to those guys, what would you say to those guys that are kind of in that same boat you were in? What kind of words of motivation, inspiration you think you could give them?
Yeah, I mean, this past summer, I was definitely at a low point in my career, my velocity being down. And then, and I thought it was almost hopeless, but then after going through this program, it really gave me hope, I mean, that can get better. And, like, the program's not easy. In fact, it's really hard. I mean, you gotta stick with it and not give up, especially when it gets tough. Like the med ball drills and mechanics, it was all extremely frustrating at first. But I always told myself that's a good sign because it means that your body's changing. Same with the workouts. Like, it's really hard at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll start rolling with it and get better and better.
Hey, man, I think that's great advice. I think if you listen to all the testimonials, you're going to hear that guy saying, you know, it's very challenging, but you're right, that's a good thing, because if it was easy, what can you really learn from something that's easy? You know, you typically only learn from failure. So when you're in something that's constantly forcing you to fail, then you're either forced to get better through it or to give up. And you're right. And if you're willing to do like you did and not give up and fight through it and learn from it and let it change you, then at the end you come out a different person. And ideally, you know, what we see coming to these programs is they come out throwing harder, and that's really the goal here. And same thing, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate that, man. I think that that's going to be beneficial to a lot of guys out there kind of coming into the same place you were in. And, you know, as you move up and as you get into throwing harder into the 90s, I'll definitely want to do an interview again when you get to, say, mid-90s, and I think you got a lot of potential to do it. So that's pretty cool. So we'll keep in touch. But, hey, hold on the line, and we'll talk some more. Hold on. But, hey, hold